Resources Committee, Mr. DeFazio of Oregon for 5 minutes.
I thank the chairman. I'd just like to put a little bit of why we're here today in context. When I was a kid, the Willamette River in Oregon was an open sewer. And back east, they actually had signs posted at bridges when you drove over them saying, flammable object below, do not throw lighted objects, i.e. cigarettes, from bridge. Those were rivers, and they caught fire, most famously the Cuyahoga and others. So the nation came together, and we adopted the Clean Water Act. The Clean Water Act has never been reauthorized. I was involved in an exercise in 1994 on the transportation, then called the, God, I don't know, we've changed the name a number of times, Public Works Committee, I think. And it was back in the days when we really legislated or attempted to, it was a Republican, I think it was 95 actually, the Republicans had taken over, right? And it was their version of a bill. It went on for 5 days. Dozens and dozens of amendments and debate. Bottom line of the bill they proposed, which never was brought to the floor because it was a very radical change, was that users should be responsible, not polluters. That was rejected back then. So I think there's consensus that we want to prevent pollution, we want to prevent degradation, we want to prevent wetland loss and all the associated problems with that. It's an immensely difficult, complicated issue. We have had 2 Supreme Court cases, we've had guidance, and then we've had new guidance, and then we've had a former proposed withdrawn rule, and now we have a proposed rule. So what I caution the witnesses here today is this is a proposed rule. That means that it's out for comment. The comment period has been extended. I welcome you to provide us specifics today about problems. I'm still hearing some problems that are no longer, there are problems, I believe, with some definitions in the bill. But I'm hearing about problems that are no longer covered by the bill. The bill, specifically, I raised a whole issue about, rills and, basically runoff, gullies, rills, et cetera, which I felt in the former guidance and in some former proposed legislation by our deceased colleague, Jim Overstar, I think would have been covered. I said, well, Oregon's it rains a lot and we have slopes. Those have been specifically exempted. Some other things seem to have been exempted, but they're not really defined. So we're not sure if they're exempted. And those things or many things that merit exemption. Ornamental ponds, those things seem to have been taken care of. I'm still hearing about that. So I want to hear about real problems with the proposed rule and things that are common sense that need to be changed, simplified, clarified, so we don't end up in court again. We don't want to go to court again. We want to protect our waters. We want to protect our wetlands. We want to provide for future generations. And, lawyers they get plenty of other business out there. Let's get this one right. So those are the kind of concerns and comments I'd like to hear today and in the ensuing couple of months before the comments closes. Productive ideas, not just like no, no is not helpful. But here's a problem with what you're doing and how it relates to farming. Here's a problem with forestry. Here's a problem with power production. All legitimate activities. I mean, if there is a problem with wastewater, which I think they may have taken care of, but again, it's a very complicated rule with the handling of wastewater and water recycling and that. I think they've taken care of it, but maybe someone can point that they haven't really taken care of exempting those activities. So that's the sorts of comments I'd like to hear today. With that, Mr. Chairman, I thank you for the time.